I think you're right. I should have hit
Yeah.
the record button.
I can summarize it. So for people who are just kind of like, what the hell was Endo talking about? Why did Tougie sound like exasperated? We were just talking about briefly NHL, and whenever Sin's away, we usually just talk about NHL and its
Mhm.
triumphant, I would call it a miscarriage, but of status of where it's at. I was just, I'm just spitballing and some conversations people have had about the game and certain things are required, essentially to be competitive or quote unquote competitive. It's asinine in my opinion. Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
As Endo said, when Sin's away, we will shoot the shit about whatever random topics come to mind. And especially when, let's be honest, not much happened in the NHL
Yeah.
over the past couple of days and through the weekend. So Endo and I are here to talk about some disdain for NHL 23 again, which I think is exactly what happened the last time Sin wasn't
Yeah.
here. Oh my god.
Mods are asleep post NHL cringe. There you go.
Oh god. Well, it's funny because what got us onto that topic and kind of led me to the point where it's like, yeah, you're right. I should just hit record and screw it. We'll just talk about this for the sake of the podcast because it gives us something to
Okay.
talk about. Um, is the idea that last night on stream, I went back to franchise mode, was doing pretty well. And then, that kind of spurns off into the other aspects of the game, which is, specifically talking about what's more cringe, Ishul or World of Chell? In terms of defining that mode, what is the more cringe title?
Uh, I
I would
don't know.
personally go with Chell. I find
Yeah,
that to be
they're
nails on a chalkboard.
they're trying hard to make that the brand. World of
Mhm.
Chell. I remember back in like NHL. I remember I was gonna name off a year by the game that came out back in like first year of like high school, so like 2012. Dude was like, "Do you play Chell?" I'm like, "What the fuck is Chell?"
Mm,
NHL. NHL. There was a Claude Giroux on the cover. I'm like, when I look at NHL, I don't think of Chell. I think
mhm,
of NHL. I mean, it's also weird brand identity because they've named their title of the game the league,
mm,
like, and that's why like people were freaking out about adding women into the game. It's like, oh, they aren't in the NHL. It's like
right.
FIFA is FIFA. Do you really play with teams in FIFA? No, you don't. You play with the Premier League. That's why when they moved to EA Sports FC, it made sense because
Yeah.
that's really what it is. It's football club. So we're gonna call it worldwide hockey, like.
No, well, I mean, that's the thing, right? If they ever lose the NHL license and EA, well, let's be honest, if EA loses the NHL license, they won't make hockey games anymore.
They will not.
Unlike, EAFC losing the FIFA license, they'll still make games. But
Exactly.
yeah, their name is right there. If it ever were to not be NHL 24, it would be Chell 24.
I fucking hate that. I fucking hate that so much.
Mhm.
Oh my god. Oh man,
That's
that meme?
exactly what it would be. You said it.
You
The
know that meme
branding is already there.
God, that meme where it's like Sully's like, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Mm.
Oh man. But
Fucking hate
yeah,
my life.
so I mean in a general sense, as we always do when Sin's gone, talking about NHL 23, I am actually more optimistic. And apologies everyone for just kind of jumping into this show, but again, the format goes out the window when Dad's not home. Uh, and, and we'll see what happens later on this week too, with it being the week of American Thanksgiving. It might be a 1 week show. We might have a show on Friday. We'll figure all that out. Pay attention to Twitter if it doesn't die. Um, of course, the link to the Discord's in the description as always. We'll get to some viewer questions here in a minute too.
Yeah.
But I am more optimistic about NHL 23 because, as is usually the case with sports games, about a month after release is when it gets to the level that it should have been at launch at bare minimum. And what's hilarious to me is before recording this show, the fiance and I went grocery shopping. And on the way over, I was explaining, the stream last night and being back on franchise and everything. And she's like, "So why do they put out these games if they're not like fully ready to go?"
Dude, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Polina had the exact same conversation with me like a week ago. It was ridiculous. She's like, "Well, the game's not done. Why did they put it out?" And I'm sitting there like, "Yeah, that's what I said."
Uh-huh.
Like all the features they said were gonna be in the game are being implemented by the end of December.
Mm,
Like, you make your most money in December because you discount the game anyway. Like, for fuck's sake, let's be real. The game's already discounted right now for like $40 if you really want
yep.
to pick it up. US
Dude,
and cap.
everything that came out in September, October, already down to $40. Gotham Knights is down to $40 already.
Madden's like $30 right now. It's ridiculous.
But, I got to explain to her just the concept essentially of, well, it's kind of, the big wigs decisions as opposed to the dev teams. Like the dev team knows that it's not what they want it to be and it's not what people are going to be happy with, but there's nothing they can do about it. And she's like, "Huh, that sounds like me being a teacher." Like I want to do all of this and people are just like, "No.
Sounds like capitalism at its
Fuck it."
finest, huh? Honestly.
Oh god. Yeah, it was very interesting getting to explain to her, like, just that idea of, and I think for a lot of people, right, like, not just me being based on franchise mode or with roster editing. I'd say it's the same thing for EASHL. It's the same thing for Hut. Be a pro's dead at the bottom of the pool. Uh, it's the same thing though for all of us, where we're just like, man, if only this. Not to say like what we have now is amazing, but it's like shit. If only we had this a
Yeah.
month ago at launch. That's how I feel about franchise. I'm like, man, if you had franchise what it is now compared to what it was at launch, where Jesus, offer sheets weren't working properly, I would have been in a much better spot for the beginning of that game.
I wouldn't
But
be in financial peril. Like
oh god, it's not that bad, thankfully. But Jesus, I think I've been pretty open and honest about it. Like, man, we went from the heights that I had with Madden and with FIFA and
dude.
NBA, especially with them adding the eras mode, to where I was doing better on Twitch than I ever had. And then, while financially I haven't, been doing like the worst I've ever done. Like, obviously, that would have been at the start.
Yeah.
It's the worst I've done in a while, and I'm just, like the connection is NHL being terrible to where it's like I was bitter as shit and still kind of am about NHL
Yeah.
23, where it's
Oh
like
my
I'm
god.
up here riding high, and then all of a sudden I'm in the basement. It's like, how the fuck did I get back down here? We were doing great.
You were so angry. It's like I remember you were telling me, it's like, dude, like I don't know what to do. Like, is it me? And am I ugly? Am I pretty? Am I am I fat?
Well, I
Am
know the answer to that. Drop dead gorgeous, but
I...
fuck.
oh man. I didn't even
Dude,
like
my favorite thing though to come out of my dislike of NHL 23 at launch was that I put out the NHL 23 is not good video. And there was that specific line in the video that I made because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna catch people hook, line, and sinker. And it was calling people who are upset about women in the game incels. And holy shit, did people bite? And there
oh
was
my
one comment where it's like, a guy like you's, a guy who looks like you is gonna call people incels. Okay. I died laughing. I showed it to the fiance, died laughing. It was the best. You have to make your own fun sometimes.
that's
And
one wicked Toog and a hell of a pull. Jesus Christ. Just fucking go right there, fucking just going.
oh my god, I caught Jaws itself. That's how big of a catch that was. It's like, yes, I know this is gonna work out perfectly. And it very, very much did. But
Oh, that's
yeah,
great.
the game is in a better spot though. Like I said, they fixed
Yeah.
up some things about franchise. It's hardly perfect. And then, fingers crossed, I have said this everywhere, you can't shoot the messenger, it's not confirmed, but I have heard the rumblings that this is the month that Endo, myself, Tactics HD get our sweet, sweet reward.
I love how I'm just being brought into this with two
You
biggies.
helped, though!
It's like it's the picture of like the three-headed dragon where two of them are more mighty, the one's just derpy as fuck, and it's just me.
But it was the three of us that were just banging the drum of what the fuck is wrong with Arbor Jackeyes height and weight. And then that led me to double, and you as well, to double checking certain height and weight and being like, oh, you're lucky if a team has one thing correct.
Dude, I
And we
went back
complained
3
about it enough that this should be the week that that's updated as well with everything, not just like NHL, but AHL and junior, thank fuck. And that should, lead to me being able to roster it. It's like, why couldn't this have just been done a month ago?
I went
But
back like 6 games to prove a
yeah, it was
point.
like NHL 19 and he was still the same height and weight. Fucking ridiculous.
Fucking 6 games. God. It's like 5, but still it's so fucking funny. I'm a petty bitch. Jesus Christ. I thought you were bad.
We both are, and that's why we're friends.
That's exactly why we're friends. Oh my god.
Oh, it's the best. It's the
Uh,
absolute best. But
Also, absolute best, our lovely sponsors over at Manscaped who help you have the
hey,
pristine, tip top tools for the job. I don't know where the
tip top
cylindrical.
tool for your tip, but don't worry, that's because I have
Oh
in my
shit!
hands the magical cylindrical deodorant that smells fantastic. Zero residue. Aluminum free, vegan. I don't know what a paraben is, but it's paraben free, dye free, and cruelty free from your friends at Manscaped. On top of that,
Great.
as always,
Ah, it smells pretty in here. Ugh. Got in my mouth. Oh god.
you have tremendous tools for the job. As always, the best tools for the job. You got the weed whacker for those pesky nose and ear hair. That happens as you get older. It's ridiculous. What the fuck? Life is weird. You got the lawnmower for your groin. We don't use the word groin enough in these ad reads, but there you go. You have the ultra smooth package. Never before would you actually be able to take a razor to your junk without fear of it itching like a motherfucker afterwards. Manscaped.com, our lovely sponsor of the Tougie Steak Podcast. You can use code Tougie, that's Tougie at checkout for 20% off your order and free shipping. It makes for the best holiday gift of all. We got Christmas in a month, Hanukkah less than that. Goddamn Kwanzaa's coming up. The Festivus for the rest of us, as they say. Perfect gift, manscaped.com, code Tougie. Get it done. Take care of yourself. We'll see you next week. We're out. 12 minutes of NHL bitching and an ad read, and bam, we're out of here.
There, get the money. Fucking leave.
God damn it.
Joking.
You know what? You know what's a better option than to spend money on Hockey Ultimate Team for cards that are going to be out of date by
Dude.
February?
Oh my fucking god. Fucking hut like Ultimate Team walk so NFTs could run. Let's be fucking real. Holy shit. Oh my god.
What? You mean you don't like having like 90 overall cards in November, knowing that there's going to be 99s again by February?
Like I get like the progression system they had implemented was like, oh, your card will eventually be like this value, like and down the line. And it's like, all right, that's cool, but I gotta like put a mortgage like on my fucking players to have them be eventually good through. Like, I'm not making a fucking down payment. Like, I'm not gonna finance my waterbed for this. Like, are you kidding me? Fucking hell.
But think of the stonks, Endo.
Think of this.
Sweet, beautiful
Oh man,
stonks. FTX just collapsed, but think of the stonks.
because
Fucking hell.
oh man, they were partnered with MLB, like on the shoulder patches for
Dude,
like
they partnered with everybody. They partnered with Mercedes F1 team. Like, they partnered with everybody.
they
Tom
took
Brady.
your money. And what's it worth? Nothing. Get fucked.
Oh my god. I tried my best to drag Endo into another sweet ultimate team related rant, but I think he's just exhausted everybody
Oh my
right now.
god, fucking hell. EA Sports, fucking EA just in general. Oh boy. 2008 was the death of EA itself. I was playing Skate 2. We're just gonna go on tangents now. I was playing
Go
Skate
ahead.
2.
Sin's not here.
Yeah. Okay. And dude, that game's so fucking good. I just played it for the first time and just so good, so fun. And then like you go to like, oh, the time is money pack where you can unlock everything in the game is like $5. I'm like, that's fine and reasonable. Go to Skate 3, that's like $10. I'm like, Bro, I know time is money, but like you're not gonna get my money. Like, come on. Fucking hell. Jeez.
Oh god. No, the Skate series was great, but yeah, basically, I mean, you said it like '08 was the death. When
Mm-hmm.
was the first Ultimate Team was implemented in 2010, wasn't it?
2004 Euro World 2000, I think it was 2004, 2005 Euro World Cup. It was free to play, and it was basically where they planted the seed of all this stuff going off and going crazy. And then the next FIFA after that, it was a DLC
'09.
expansion you had to buy, and then you could start doing that. And then from there, it wasn't an expansion; it was just integrated into the game itself.
Yeah, I actually looked it up. FIFA '09 Ultimate Team is a downloadable expansion only
Yep,
on PS3 and Xbox 360.
with microtransactions, which is
A
even better.
similar game mode was featured in UEFA Champions League '06-'07.
That's the one.
So yeah, you're right. They kind of like tested this throughout, and then once they went with it, there you go. The death of video games, the microtransactions. But the thing you did mention was there was the one game, the first one that you mentioned with the fact it was free to play. I am okay with microtransactions in a free to play game,
Yes,
personally.
100%.
Especially like something like Fortnite, especially too, like it's all cosmetic. There's no benefit to it. Ultimate Team, obviously, there is an immediate benefit to it for the most part. Um, if it was free to play, I don't think people would be as concerned. But that's an entirely different discussion. The idea of why yearly sports games should just go to a free to play model.
I was about to say the new skate game that's coming out is free to play, and people are upset there's microtransactions. They're like, they're not gonna like lock down a fucking kickflip so that way you can get to pay for the kickflip. What kind of fucking anarcho-capitalist fucking thing you think this is gonna be? Oh, you can't like kick with your left foot, you can't Mongo push. Oh, spend fucking 1,500 Microsoft points. Like, suck my dick. Like, Jesus Christ, it makes no fucking sense. That's literally stupid. I've play tested the game. That is not in the fucking game. It's all cosmetic. You fucking sheep. I swear to God. For fuck's sake.
If you
We've
were
been
wondering,
we've
now
been
keep going.
asking for fucking like for like the past year and a half to add a purchasing system inside of World of Shell, even though the whole idea of that was like, oh, we're gonna make it free to play in the beginning because that way, like no microtransaction, no like you don't have to unlock like a fucking Michigan by spending your mom's fucking credit card or whatever the hell in that game mode or whatever. Keep it all even playing field. But like if I had to unlock my two pads and then the matching glove and blocker 4 months from now in a random pull out of my fucking ass, like it makes no sense. Let us spend money to get things that look good. Like it's really simple. Like give us a battle pass. You already have that little fucking battle pass on the screen over there, but no one plays all those game modes. Just make it a progression system. Hire more fucking designers so that way you have like, oh, I don't know, maybe somewhat appealing stuff to look at. Also, update all the fucking military appreciation and fucking cancer awareness jerseys inside NHL because those shits running at like 720p, and you don't even have like the Golden Knights and the Seattle Kraken in their proper jerseys yet.
If you were wondering why this episode was titled $5 Kickflip, you now know why.
Oh man.
Oh, with
And
that,
no,
no,
no, no, no, no, keep going. Get me off this.
I was gonna say, with that, should we get to some viewer questions?
Oh man.
All
Yes.
right. First one from RG Dust. Favorite soup?
Chicken noodle. Oh man, there's actually a really good place that closed down recently. It was One Love Vegetarian, and they had all vegetarian foods. I think the person who runs it, I don't know why they stopped eating meat, but they stopped eating meat. They cut meat out of their diet entirely, and then they became like a vegetarian restaurant. And one of the big issues that she had is like, like how am I going to replace the texture and the taste of meat or something along the lines of that. Because when you take meat out of something, it becomes something completely different.
Mhm.
And they kind of subtract that with like corn, fucking other vegetables, and all that stuff. And it's beautiful. Whenever I'm sick, I usually get like their corn soup, and it's just so awesome. It's so good. The rotis are also to die for.
Not a big soup fan. Next question from Tim.
All right.
What are your thoughts on salad theory? Every single food is either a soup, sandwich, or salad. To make it more clear, a salad is a mixture of vegetables, fruits, or nuts. Soup is any food that requires a liquid base to it, and a sandwich is a food item that's enclosed or partially enclosed by a starch.
What about word salads? Like the one Dim is just punting in there right now. Like Jesus. But yeah. No, I think that's a good theory. Um, I think it's stupid, but I have a platform that's even more stupid. So
I'm on board with it. I think hopefully from an education standpoint, the two great theories get taught to every child in North America. You know,
critical race theory and and the salad theory.
which theory will piss people off more? Spoiler alert: we have the South here in the U.S. So you know which one will piss people off more. Uh,
Is that what you're going with, or was that just really off
that's
the wall?
exactly where I was going.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how do I phrase this?
I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about, and this is perfect. Perfect. It's like the LeBron James, like Dwayne Wade dunk, where it's just him in the back like this, arms out, like arms wide open.
Oh, from AJ, better TV show Alien, Alf or Roger from American Dad? Have you ever seen an episode of Alf?
Yes.
I haven't because I'm not a 55-year-old woman.
Shit. Hold on.
When did you watch Alf? How did you watch Alf?
It was just on. So like when I was growing up, we had TV, and my mom was a
Congrats.
single mother. My grandma was there, and like we just watched random TV shows.
Okay,
Honestly,
so that's fair. You were watching it with people who actually probably would have watched it.
yeah, it's fair enough. I mean, and also it was just kind of on. I would just channel surf whenever nothing's on. I just watch that. I remember watching like the score back when the score was still on TV. Channel 54 on Rogers. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. It was 54 or 54. 51 or 54. Said WWE on there as well. Yeah, good times.
Oh, best. I mean, number one, the answer is probably Roger. However, the best TV alien is
Gone for it.
Superman.
Oh, I was gonna
He's
say Gone.
literally a fucking alien.
That's
It's
true.
Superman.
Cal Cletus.
Kestis, I think? I don't fucking
Estes.
know. Or was that the guy from fucking Star Wars? No, it was the guy. Cal Kestis was the lead character of Jedi Fallen Order.
He was.
An amazing game that somehow came out 3 years ago, and that makes me cry because holy shit, where's the time go?
I mean,
Um,
he's ginger, so he's an alien.
exactly.
Oh
Um,
man.
God,
Oh,
but yeah, Superman, because just you land in Kansas and all of a sudden you're a patriot. Dude, did you ever see? And there's a Russian YouTuber that put out kind of like a review of this. Did you ever see the comic or the animated movie about what if Superman had landed in Russia instead of Kansas?
Superman.
It's fucking amazing. I have to link you
Oh,
this video. It's incredible.
oh, please do. I gotta watch with Polina. Is he speaking Russian or English?
Yeah, dude, he shakes hands with literal Stalin.
Oh, wait, I think I've seen this. I think I've like seen like comic strips of it. Oh
Like
man.
instead of the S on his chest, it's the hammer and sickle.
Oh my god, I've
Like,
seen that. Oh my
like it's
god.
incredible.
Oh, that's like in the back of my memory. Jesus Christ.
Forever there, never to go away.
Comrade,
Russian Superman.
Comrade Cal L. That's his name. That's Cal L.
Oh god, what's the Russian equivalent for
Commissar
Clark
Cal.
Kent?
Sorry. What were you saying? I'm too busy making myself laugh.
Oh, fuck. Beautiful. So there you go. Favorite
Oh,
TV alien, better TV alien. Russian Superman.
I was gonna say
Duh.
Gonzo from the Muppets, if that works too.
Is he an alien?
He's an alien. You didn't watch Muppets from Outer Space?
Not in a long time.
My favorite scene is like there's the egg thing, and the guy's like, "Shh, they got chocolate in there."
I didn't watch that one as much. Like as a kid, I watched the shit out of like Muppet Treasure Island because I had
Oh,
Tim Curry in it, and Tim Curry's a fucking psychopath, and I love him. Like,
oh
you
man,
have to have seen like the Tim Curry Command and Conquer cutscenes.
yeah, I was about to say, I'm setting myself to the one place that's been capitalized by capitalism. Spice. The way he laughs before he says it. Spice.
He goes full Nigel Thornberry.
Yeah. Wow, wow, wow.
Oh God! Let us know. Is this show better or worse without Sin? I think it's technically
Hey, take a
worse.
fucking break. I love you, buddy.
Shit. Oh God.
Me, it's a real nice show.
From
Oh,
NF Devils, if you could hang out with one character from Ted Lasso for one day, who would you choose and why? And what would you do on your adventure? Have
so
you
I never.
seen Ted Lasso?
I was gonna say I never watched Ted Lasso. All I
So
know
that
is
was
the
one of the shows.
bum 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 bum. Believe.
That was one of the shows where I'm just like, does it really live up to the hype? And then we were looking for something to watch. And I'm like, oh, there is Ted Lasso. I'm interested. And she's like, I don't know. And then it's like, oh, Apple TV gives you like a month long free trial. Perfect.
Shit.
And we were 10 minutes into the first episode, already like belly laughed twice in the first 10 minutes. And it's like, yeah, I'm sold. And we binged that show very, very fast. Absolutely phenomenal show. So for that reason, I don't want to spoil anything. And Endo should find the time to watch it and get back to us on this particular question. Actually, would it even be available in Canada? You have Apple TV in Canada, don't you?
I have a VPN.
That works too.
That
Shh.
works. Yeah.
Are you supposed to admit that? Are you?
There's nothing wrong having a VPN. It's all about how you
There's
use it.
not, but at the same time, thieving Canadians stealing our American products.
Whenever I go
Boo.
on Netflix US, they voice verify me. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm in America. Pass me the maple syrup
I have one cheeseburger, please.
and a
With the
Coke
Coke.
to wash it down.
Oh, god damn. So with that, should we actually talk about some hockey? Why would we do that?
Let me ask the great. I have an 8 ball app right here, and I usually can just shake it. I'm lying.
Perfect.
Let's just go for it. Just get it over with. Rip the band-aid off.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody, for your questions, by the way. We appreciate it. I don't think we answered half of them, but that is okay. Uh, hockey wise,
So,
there again isn't too much to talk about that really happens. There's like, oh, talk about how Cole Caulfield scored a goal late. No, I don't want to. Talk about how Chicago retired Marion Hose's number. No, I don't want to. What am I supposed what are we supposed to say? Like, yep, Marion Hose, he was a good player. Chicago, and then I chime in with my typical Chicago should change their name and logo and their owner sucks and he should be booted and ousted. It's the typical stuff when Chicago's mentioned. Evgeny Malkin hit 1,000 games. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yeah. Yeah, he
did you
is.
did you see the thing in the warm up where they all were doing the leg kicks like it's like 80s aerobics?
Yes, and like his son read off the team game lineup,
His
starting
son,
lineup in the
me?
locker room, and
My God.
it was very cute.
Yes, it was very cute. My favorite thing was Tristan Jari still doing it in his pads, like the leg kicks and all that.
Mm,
In his gear, it was funny.
that's extra work.
You'd think.
God damn. Yeah. The Boston Bruins tied the NHL record for most home wins to start a season with 11.
That's cool. You still sign a racist.
Yep. Yes, they did. And at the same time, it's very much Toronto Maple Leafs territory of I don't really care until I care and it's
Okay.
awesome. But at the end of the day, what happens in October and November doesn't mean shit. come playoff time. So
I
there's not much to mention there.
I thought you were gonna say, yeah, we're the same as the Leafs. We had a racist person in our management at once, where he told Herb Carnegie, he would pay someone like $1 million if he could make Herb Carnegie white. I think it was Conn Smith. I can't remember who it was.
Was it Conn Smythe?
I think it was Conn Smith. It was like
If
a
it wasn't
famous
him, it was probably
some other
Ballard,
white dude.
to
Yeah,
be honest.
hold on.
Probably Harold Ballard. Pretty
Yeah, it
close.
was Ballard. Sorry, Conn Smith.
There you go.
Ballard.
Don't you dare
Con
besmirch the great name of Conn Smythe.
Carnegie comments. Carnegie White.
I mean, I do remember hearing this story that literally, yeah, it's like, hey, if this guy was white, we'd sign him.
Yeah, and it was her. It was Carnegie.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love
Love
it.
it. Love it.
Jake Chikrin's going to be back for the Coyotes, which means all we're going to hear about for the next 2 weeks is where the hell is he possibly going to be traded to. So that's fun. We'll talk about that when it happens. And then there's the two things I actually wanted to talk about. Noted Atlanta Thrashers legends Teemu Selanne and Teppo Numminen had their numbers retired by the Winnipeg Jets.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. For some reason, I read that as Solani and Nunenberg, as in the Nunenberg trials, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yes, no, it's noted that Teemu Selanne, along with the other Nazis, was put on trial at the Nuremberg. The Nuremberg trials.
God, I need my fucking glasses. Oh Lord.
Jesus.
Can we even
Yeah,
leave
this
that?
isn't.
It's your call.
Where do we go from here? First time the Nuremberg trials have been mentioned on. First time the Nuremberg trials have been mentioned.
Oh my god, it's fucking hilarious. It's not hilarious. Obviously, I have to say this. That's not funny. But what I'm saying is that, it's a tragedy. But it's also tragic how, Solani and I almost said Nuremberg again. Fucking hell. And Newman are being retired by a team they never really technically played for.
Yeah. It's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb. Now, obviously, I agree with the standpoint that, a history belongs to the city, not the franchise. But at the same time, that's not how the NHL goes about things, because the NHL is pretty ass backwards in a lot of ways. So it makes sense. The final thing, aside from the fact that for the Jets, Nick Ehlers is out with a sports hernia. He's out indefinitely, so that kind of sucks for the Jets, who have been pretty damn good so far this year.
Yeah.
Shane Wright.
What about him? Bust. 18 years old, doesn't have 50 points out the wazoo after
No
playing
future.
like 7 games. Fucking no future. Send him to the ranch, Dr. Phil. Like,
all right, we might have to try to see if we can get Shane Wright Glue Factory as the as the episode title.
We'll see. Man, either one.
So yeah, as we kind of expected, right? Like when Shane Wright wasn't being played, and when he was, it was 6 minutes a night. It of course looked like the idea that they're waiting for a certain point in time. They found that point in time. They have sent him down to the AHL Coachella Valley Firebirds for a conditioning stint in which he is allowed to play 5 games and then will have to be recalled. So basically the timeline is you don't play him basically at all for the start of the year, but he gets the experience of being around the team and with professionals as opposed to lighting up junior. He gets sent down to the AHL for 5 games, comes back, will play the Montreal Canadiens, and then gets to go to the World Juniors. And then likely goes back to the OHL as
so stupid. I mean, like, the dude's getting paid NHL salary, like, no matter what. So, like, you're just, you don't give a fuck. Go buy a Lambo. go buy it. Like, go crazy. Ah, go stupid. Like, just it's. I mean, like, obviously, the realist point is like, it sucks that a kid's being like stagnated because he's gonna be like a on the line there for the World Juniors, which is pretty sweet. But I'm looking up Matty Berniers. How many games did he play last season?
He spent the entire year in the NCAA.
Yeah, but he played 10
And
games over there, had 2 points. I mean, 10 games, had 9 points, so it's almost a point per game. 11, 18. Like,
yeah, so
I'm
at,
trying to
at the
keep
end
track
of the
of.
year, Beniers, much like every other NCAA signing, played a couple of games at the end of the year.
Mhm.
But, it's not like he sat out for the most part until that point. So that's the big question. Like, you can look at the outline and see, kind of as we knew, yes, on this show we're like, what the hell are they doing? It wasn't a what the hell are they doing in a sense of like we couldn't see what was happening. It's a what the hell are they doing in terms of is this the right move? And time will tell. But all we can look at it is from the standpoint of what if this was a Leafs prospect? What if this was a Bruins prospect? Or if Sim was here, what if it's a Sharks prospect? Would we be all right with this being the path for the fourth overall pick? Playing what, 6 games, 7 games, while they're up to 17 played or something like that at this stage. Then being sent down to the AHL for 5 games, then going to the World Juniors, and then going back to junior. As opposed to just playing in the OHL all year long.
Yeah.
Like, I
Makes
get the idea that he could be viewed as like, oh, he's one of those guys too good for the OHL, but isn't technically allowed to play in the AHL. But this is going to be an interesting case study because either this works out pretty well for Seattle in terms of his development, and we start seeing this a whole lot more, or people are going to look at Seattle and just be like, "You fucking idiots." And we won't see something like this again beyond players hanging around for their trial period, which happens every year anyway. So,
like, yeah, it's just a really messy situation, I think. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think playing in the A will probably dictate if he lights it up in the A. If he completely lights it up, I think the Kraken have no like calms to like be like, all right, we're just gonna have him and just have him there because he's not really in the lineup and they're doing relatively well without him even in there.
yeah,
Like,
Seattle's been a good team this year. They haven't necessarily needed him.
yeah, so like why again, like why waste why break something up when it's already working fine? Has he scored his first goal yet?
I can double check his stat line again really quickly. Um, all I know is that his playing time was like 7 minutes a night, if that. It
Jeez.
was pretty
Yeah,
rough. But his stat line on the season is as followed. Let's see
seven
if
games
he's
played,
actually
1 assist.
still listed. Yeah, 7 games played, 1 assist, 805 of time on ice per game
Mm.
as the fourth overall pick. It's an interesting one. Like I said, this will be either the new standard for certain prospects like this until the rule changes about them not being allowed in the AHL. If
Mhm.
that changes at all, I mean, it exists so that essentially what this is a workaround to the ruling that the CHL teams have to protect their interests of these guys aren't immediately allowed to jump to the AHL, even though that's what's best for them. It's
Yeah.
the idea that Kingston, that they don't immediately lose this guy to the AHL, even though, sometimes you lose guys to the NHL. So I don't know. I think this will result in some sort of shift in the NHL. But the question is it for better or worse when it comes to Shane Wright and his development? I mean, it's God, I mean, in terms of looking at recent drafts and stuff like that, it's a really risky move. And
Yeah.
Seattle, not exactly the front office that are being given the benefit of the doubt based off of how their first couple years or how last year went and how they handled the expansion draft and you know taking players for the sole purpose of releasing them and It's been a very weird time, and I'm really intrigued. God willing, 10, 15, 20 years from now, still around on this bitch of an earth, and getting to look back at like how things worked out for Vegas, how things worked out for Seattle, and then hopefully like Kansas City and the other expansion teams that we should get. Here's hoping. But notice how I didn't say Quebec. It's never happening. Ever. It should though.
Yeah.
With that, Endo, you got anything else to rant about?
Um, Havarti is the best cheese, and I will fight on that because you can use that in fucking anything. You can put it in sandwiches. You can put it in, you can put it in pasta. You can put it in, what else can you put it in? You can just eat it raw normally. Like fucking, you can bite into a cheese stick like this fucking sadist over who's right next to me. Like you, wait, you be over here. Yeah, fuck you. You see, yeah,
Yeah.
look at me in my eyes. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh God. All right. So
I
aside from a best or favorite cheese rant, nothing
Yeah,
else going on.
Havarti, like an old hard cheddar. I mean, white chedd's pretty good too. I mean, I don't know why white cheddar and just regular cheddar, two different things. Color. I mean, I don't know why you have to call them cheddar. You know,
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Like there's like white ched, and there's like cheddar, and there's white cheddar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But do you have to call it Ched?
I don't know.
What?
Do you have to call NHL?
Ched is the Chell of cheddar.
Yeah, 100%. Unnecessary like NHL is already a fucking acronym. How are you trying to acro the acronym itself?
So the big question is, what will the show title inevitably be? $5 kickflip, Shane Wright Glue Factory, or Ched is the Chell of cheddar. We got
NH
three decent options.
NH Cheddar. Is that better?
Shelder. It sounds like a Pokemon.
NH Cheddar. There we go. NH Ched.
Ched HL.
Shed it. You might have something there. Copyrighted
Hmm.
before fucking I don't know.
I'm gonna go play World of Chell on Ched HL before playing Hut. Said nobody ever. God damn it. Sin, come back, please. We need you. You tie this show together.
Stop me from speaking. Good lord.
I
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. Me. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I don't know. I don't know what I do. I just stream fucking random games. I'm playing Skate 2 on stream, hence all the skate talk.
Mm.
And just so much fun. Like I said, at the top of the show. I'm doing that probably until I beat the game. Then I'm gonna go to Skate 3 and then beat that game and then cry about Skate 4 not coming out for another probably year and a half, 2 years. But yeah, that's me. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/ Endo Mills. No hiccup in between
I
that.
was gonna say, how do you spell that?
The hiccups, the slash.
Ah,
So yeah, you can find me there. 10, actually 11:30s Eastern in the mornings. That's when I'm doing stuff now, and I just go until I drop when I want to fucking off myself, whichever one happens first. And yeah, that's me. What about yourself, Tougie? You got anything coming up down the pipeline?
hopefully. I will say, the good thing is while you're crying about Skate 4, we should at some point in early 2023. It hasn't been, the release date hasn't been unveiled, but we will have, hopefully, the likes of AEW Fight Forever to hold us over.
Dude, I cannot wait for that. I'm not really like I keep telling people I'm not a big wrestling guy. And then when I talk about like the elite and like Kenny Omega to like at length, and they were like, you're totally a wrestling guy. And I'm like, I just like because he's funny. He came in one day and he said he used the power of Sans Undertale to help him fight a fucking match. Okay, that's fucking funny. That is so funny. You remember that? He came
Yeah.
in with the fucking Sans like fucking sweater and like
Mhm.
with the mask on, he just put his hands up and shrugged, and the pyrotechnics went up. I'm like, that shit's fucking stupid, but I love it. It's so fucking great.
I don't know if you saw it, but there's a skateboarding tie-in because a skateboard will be a weapon in that
Oh,
game that you can ride. They showed it in the new trailer.
I think I saw it and it looks so goofy. I'm like, this looks so bad, but it looks so good at the same time.
It's going to be the absolute best.
Oh
Until
yeah.
that game comes out, we're wasting time with NHL 23. Hopefully some FHM as well, Franchise Hockey Manager. If you go to their website, by the way, you can get FHM 9 with the nice little discount code, Tougie10, on their website if you want to check out Franchise Hockey Manager 9. Solid game that I managed to find a glitch in that no one had ever found because it's me. So trying to get like essentially a franchise save back this week with a patch. Otherwise, we might have to start something new. But we got that going on. Still chipping away at God of War on stream, which holy fuck, what a game that is! All the fun stuff, all the things, and of course, it's American Thanksgiving this week, so that's cool. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be
Hold
as
each
fun
other's
as I was hoping, but hey, yeah.
hold each other's hands around the dinner table, sing how you're grateful for everything, and then beat the fuck out of someone at 12 a.m. for a flat screen TV, you ungrateful fuck, because it's fucking Black Friday, less than 4 hours after you're stuffed by eating chicken fucking turkey dinner and all that. Gotta love America. It's
I mean,
fucking great.
hey, I'll punch an old lady in the face to be able to play God of War in 4K.
I'll punch a lady for that fucking that fucking rice
I
cooker.
helped an 89-year-old woman at the grocery store 2 hours ago find the cranberry sauce. I don't even work there. I knew where it was, though, because we grabbed it earlier in the week.
There you
I'd
go.
punch her in the face for 4K God of War.
But my grandson needs it more than you do. Shut up, bitch. I need to make money.
Oh, God.
Dividends, woman. Dividends.
Thank you for listening and or watching another edition of the Tukey Steak Podcast. We will be back next week, maybe later this week. Who's to say? Happy Thanksgiving, Pilgrim. We'll see you later.